Welcome to Module 6. In this explainer, we are going to break down how to turn your online presence from, just a bunch of random activities into a predictable, measurable system that actually generates real opportunities. Let's dive in. Okay, let's start with the single most important idea, the big mindset shift you have to make. Lead generation is not about getting lucky. It's not about guessing. It's about building a machine, a controlled, repeatable system that creates opportunities on demand. All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll define what a lead gen system even is. Then we'll look at the two engines that drive it, how to fuel them, how to capture every opportunity, and finally, the operator's mindset you need to make it all run smoothly. So first things first, we have to stop thinking about lead generation as just a list of tasks. It's not. It's a true system where every single piece of the puzzle affects all the other pieces. They all have to work together. The big shift in thinking is moving from the stuff on the left, spamming people, guessing what might work, just hoping for luck, and moving to the right. This is about a structured process built on 4 pillars. Being visible, being crystal clear in your message, making it easy for people to contact you, and having a disciplined follow-up game. This right here, this lays out the whole flow. Think of it like a series of dominoes. It all starts with your media posts. That's what builds that initial credibility. So if someone's interested, what do they do next? They go to your website to confirm you're trustworthy. Then they might even check your business listings just to make sure you're legit. And it's only after all those boxes are checked that your follow-up has a real shot at capturing their interest. See? If any one of those links is weak, the whole chain just falls apart. Okay, so let's look at the 2 primary engines that actually power this system, inbound and outbound. A really solid system uses both, and you're about to see exactly why. First up, we've got inbound. You can think of this as attraction, right? These are the leads that find you. They discover you through your social media, your website, or a search engine because you've been putting out valuable stuff consistently. Now, it's a slower build, for sure, but the great thing is the trust is already there when they reach out. And then we have the second engine, outbound. This is all about direct action. Instead of waiting for people to find you, you're proactively going to them. You're reaching out to very specific, targeted lists of potential clients. This gives you speed, it gives you volume, and it gives you a ton of control over your pipeline. Now, this slide is so key because it shows how these 2 engines balance each other out perfectly. Think of it like this. Inbound is like planting a tree. It takes time to grow, right? But eventually, it gives you consistent shade without a lot of daily effort. Outbound, on the other hand, is like starting a fire. It gives you heat and light right now. You really need both, the long-term asset and the immediate results, to have a truly robust system. So we've got our 2 engines, but an engine is useless without fuel. So what's the fuel for the system? It's really simple but incredibly powerful. It's a relentless combination of consistency and a laser-sharp focus on a single niche. This timeline right here explains why so many people fail. Look at this. 1 post does absolutely nothing. 10 posts, okay, maybe you get a little bit of data, but 100 posts? That's when you start to build real, unstoppable momentum. This isn't about one big heroic effort. It's all about the cumulative power of just showing up again and again and again. And that power of showing up gets amplified like 10 times over when you focus on one specific niche. I mean, think about it. Trying to be everything to everyone is like trying to boil the ocean. It just doesn't work. But when you focus on one niche, your message becomes incredibly clear and powerful, and you get results so much faster. Creating opportunities is great, but it's totally useless if you can't capture them. And that brings us to the next critical piece of the system, the absolute non-negotiable rules and tools for tracking every single lead that comes your way. These are the unbreakable laws of lead capture. A lead comes in, it goes into the system immediately. It gets tracked clearly, it gets followed up with consistently. Any lead that doesn't follow this process is just lost money. It's that simple. There are absolutely no excuses for letting a lead fall through the cracks. And here are the standard tools we use to make sure that system works like a well-oiled machine. And look, each one has a very specific job. Go High Level is your command center. It's where you manage everything. Google Drive is your library, keeping all your documents organized. Google Maps is your research tool for finding prospects. And ChatGPT, well, that's your assistant for crafting great messages. Okay, now we get to what is probably the single biggest multiplier in this entire system. This is where most of the money is actually made, and that is disciplined, systematic follow-up. This is a hard truth, but you have to get this. The first time you talk to someone, that almost never closes the deal. It's the consistent, professional follow-up that builds the trust and the familiarity that someone needs to finally say yes. As it says here, consistency beats charisma every single day of the week. So, why is follow-up so dang effective? Well, it solves 3 huge problems. First, it builds familiarity, right? You stay top of mind. Second, it builds trust because you look professional and persistent. And third, and this is a big one, it creates timing alignment. Your first call might not have been at the perfect time for them, but your consistent follow-up makes sure you are there when that perfect moment finally arrives. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about the internal framework, the mindset you need to actually operate this system successfully. These are the rules of the road that are going to keep you on track and stop you from sabotaging your own success. Before we get to the right way, let's look at how people get it wrong. Check this out. Inconsistent posting, no clear call to action, bad follow-up, no tracking. Every single one of these common mistakes happens for one reason. You abandon the system and you go back to random emotional actions. So to fight back against those mistakes, you live by these 4 rules. This is your new operating system. Volume is better than perfection. Systems are better than emotion. Consistency is better than short bursts of intensity. And tracking is always, always better than guessing. You have to internalize these because they keep you focused on the process that actually works. So, we'll end with the one question you need to ask yourself every single day. Is what I'm doing just random activity, or am I actually building a predictable system for creating opportunity? With the framework we've just gone over, you now have the complete blueprint. The choice is yours. Go build your machine.